CT transportation allows you to make payments for driver expenses in two different ways. From a shipping order, the first way is to create a payment for amounts to be retired. These are payments for which you expect documentary evidence to be produced by the driver upon his return. The second method is for payment of items such as trip allowances, and for these you are not expecting the driver to bring back any documentation, and therefore you can use an outgoing payments to make them. I have a shipping order open on my screen with 290 Zambian kwacha in road tolls to be paid. And so my next step is to go into incoming payments, and rather than selecting an expense account, I'm going to select the driver's cash unretired, which is the clearing account. We'll select the trip number, and all the profit and cost centers come in automatically, and then all I have to do is select the right bank account. For instance, this petty cash, but this can be any bank account in the correct currency. And once that's done, we'll post it. Alright, what happens then? We can run the driver statement for today's date, and I know my driver is 108, and so you can see the incoming payment coming in as a credit on his account. Alright, so now the driver comes back, he returns from duty, he brings back his proof of deliveries and some AP invoices for you. So therefore we'll go to the AP invoice screen, select the supplier, I'll select the service here. It might be anything. I'll then choose the shipment number. Of course we know what that is. Again, it brings automatically all the profit centers. And before I post this AP invoice, I'm going to select the payment means window, and I'm going to choose the driver's cash unretired. Remember that account? Actually, it might have been the kwacha one. I'll copy my balance due. I'll put the day's date. And once that's done, if I run my driver statement again, it's then pretty easy to see what's going on. Alright, so you can see that that brings across a debit of 100 kwacha, and the closing balance on this statement is 190. Therefore, the driver is short by 190, and he still needs to account for this. This is how easy it is to process payments that require documentary evidence. Okay, so you may ask the question, hey, I want to pay this driver some money and I don't ever want to hear from him again. Alright, I don't want him to bring an AP invoice back. I'm paying him an allowance, and that might be for accommodation, and that is that. Alright, so we could use another transaction here, and that's called an outgoing payment. And really, the same thing, except this time around you choose the exact expense account. So I'm selecting the toll fees account, and let's select the trip number. Let it bring across all the cost centers, and I'm now going to pay him not all of the 290, I might pay him 90. Alright, and I'm going to select a cash account. And so this might be bank transfer to him and or a cash on hand payment to him. Doesn't matter, you just have to select the right one. Okay, that's ready, and post it. All right. And what's the effect on the driver statement? Similar thing. You see, with a direct outgoing payment, you take it straight to the expense account, whereas when you are using the other method, you have to go through two transactions. You have to pay the money first into a cash clearing account and then knock that off using an AP invoice. All right, and that's that. The other thing you could do is you could look at a trip expenses report. So I'll put in a date range. I need to pull across all my trips there. I know that the one I'm looking for is number 98, and here it is. So it shows me that the budget was 290, and I've actually overpaid him by 90. All right, so it's very transparent, and you can see all of the cash transactions against a driver and trip